Hi everyone, it's Natalie from nellydesign.com, and today I want to show you how to make these beautiful Easter flatware holders that would look super cool for your Easter table. Let me start right away by telling you what you'll need for this project. First, I'll be using felt for this project. Now just note that not all felt are created equal and not all can be cut with the fine point blade that comes with a Joy, the Maker, or the Explorer. Now I won't go too deep into this, so if you want to know more about felt, you can go to my blog nellydesign.com and just search for felt and you'll find an article on there that will give you all the information. Let me just say that for best result and to be able to cut it with the Joy, the Explorer, or the Maker, you'll want to use the Cricut felt that is made especially to be cut with the fine point blade. Or you can also find a similar felt that is thin. The thing is that the Cricut felt is pretty thin and rigid, so you'll want to look for a felt that is that way. I actually found this one from the dollar store, and it comes in a roll and it is pretty thin. To compare with the regular acrylic felt that you can find at Michael's or other store, this one is pretty thick, and to be able to cut this one, you're going to need the Maker and the rotary blade. So if you do have that, no problem, but if not, if you want to cut it with Joy or Explorer, I'm going to suggest that you take the Cricut felt or a similar felt that is thinner. Now, if you're new to Cricut, I'm sorry, you're probably looking at me with big eyes saying, oh my God, this project is too complicated for me. Don't worry, it is a pretty simple project. And stay until the end because I'll have a freebie for you that would demystify everything you need to know about the different blade, wheels, and tips. Also, if using felt is scaring you or you don't have any on hand, you can always use cardstock to make this project. It will also look very beautiful. Now, back to the materials. So I'll be using this Cricut felt that comes from the Spring Rain sampler. So I'm going to be using the pink one. I'm going to cut it with the Joy. I'm going to show you how. And so I'm going to need a Cricut standard grip mat for the Joy, the 12-inch mat. You'll also need iron-on vinyl, the color of your choice, weeding tools, a brayer that is optional. I'm going to show you why. Of course, the easy press to apply the iron-on, some masking tape, and a glue gun to use with the pompons for the tail of the rabbit. Also, I'm using some raffia. You can also use ribbon, whatever you like. This is a fun project that you can make in multiple colors, either the colors of the felt, the colors of the iron-on. You can change the ribbons also, so you can make tons, and I can't wait to see what you do. So I'm going to clear this up and let's go into Design Space. So in Design Space, you're going to start by clicking on New Project, and we're going to go straight to Upload. Now you need to save the file to your computer. These files are part of my shop, so you can go in the description of this video. You'll have a link to get them. And then click on Upload Image, Browse, and go find it where you've saved it on your computer. And we're going to click on Upload. We're going to select it. So we're going to upload this one. Now the first thing you need to do with the file is to ungroup. And then only a second thing you'll need to do is to click on the bunny right here and click on Attach to make sure that the two little lines are attached with the bunny. Now the flowers have not disappeared, they are just under, so you can click on it and bring them back to front if you really want to see them. And that's it. That's the only thing you need to do. If you want to scale it, you can, but it's already made especially to fit for the Joy, so there's no problem there. So if you want to cut it with the Joy, you also need to select the Joy machine or select the machine you own if you want to cut it on another machine. So I'm going to cut it on the Joy. I'm going to click Make It. So the first thing I'm going to do here, so I don't forget, is to go and mirror the flowers because we need to mirror when we cut iron-on. So this is done right here. For the bunny, you don't need to do anything. We're going to click on Continue. Now I want to tell you that if you look for felt while using the Joy, you won't find any materials that is named felt. You'll find it if you have the Explorer, you'll find it if you have the Maker, no problem. But there is no felt for the Cricut Joy, but you can totally cut felt with the Cricut Joy. Let me show you how. So when you're here, you're going to browse on materials, you're going to go to material settings, and we're going to create our own material. Now, scroll all the way to the bottom and add a new material. Now, if you don't see it, scroll again a little bit, you'll see it. So here you need to name your material and click on Add New Materials. I always like to underscore my material, so I know at a first look that it's a material that I've created, but you do whatever you want. So I'm just going to call it felt like that, and I'm going to save. Now you're going to see that I already have one that is called like that way right here. It's because I already tested it, of course. So now you have the option to set the pressure and the number of pass. So what we're going to do, we're going to scroll this little bar to 130. And we're going to do a multi-cut twice. So it's going to do a 130 pressure, and it's going to go over twice. And then you click save. Now I have two, but it's okay. You can always come here and delete one and whatever you want. There's no problem. So I'll just be left with the first one I had created. So then you close this, and you'll see that if you go back into Browse Materials, either you go to My Material, that is the gray section, and you'll have your materials that you've created here, or you can always type it, and that's why I like my underscore, because when I type it, I just like underscore and the first letter, and it's right there. So you select this one. You can star it if you want to have it in your favorite, if you want to make multiple of this project. It's faster. And then we'll be ready to cut. So let's go and place everything on the Cricut Joy. So super easy. I've cut a little piece of felt that fits on the mat. And I'm going to use my brayer to really apply the felt properly onto the mat. You can use your hand. This is totally optional. And what I like to do, especially if you're using the dollar store felt, is to secure it with a little bit of tape. The thing is that sometimes when it goes closer to the border, it wants the blade wants to drag the felt a bit, so we don't want to mess it. So it's just a precaution to use a little bit of tape right there and really put it very close to the border, and everything should be fine. Another thing you might want to do before you go on and cut the iron-on is to remove the blade from the Joy and make sure it's clean, because you see there's dust from the felt, of course. So what you can do is use a little aluminum ball. You push on the button and you do this. So it's going to remove all the little dust. It won't sharpen the blade, that is not true, but it will clean the blade. So for the iron-on, we're going to place it on the mat too. Just cut a little piece, the right size for the design. And don't forget to put the shiny side face down, because we're cutting in mirror. And in design space, you're going to select everyday iron-on or whatever material you already have, depending on what you're using. So I'm using everyday iron-on in a gray. So already almost at the final step, and I like to remove my self-healing mat when I use my Easy Press, because you don't want to melt your self-healing mat. And you're gonna go into cricut.com/eat guide and see the temperature you're gonna need to use depending on which Easy Press you have. So for my Easy Press, it's 280 for 30 seconds. So I'm gonna go to 280 for 30 seconds. 30 seconds is already there. And as you can see, there is a little piece that is missing the flowers right here. This is especially made for this little thing to insert your utensils in it. So you're going to need to adjust like this. Just make sure you are centered like this and centered with this, that doesn't go over this little piece. Now, if we follow the Eat Guide first, it will say to preheat for 5 seconds. So this is what I'm going to do before I install this. Even if it's not at the right temperature, I'm going to still heat it up a little 5 seconds. And then we're going to apply the vinyl. Now it says to remove the liner when cool to touch. I know we are always in a hurry to remove it, but that's really usually the problem. When the iron-on is not staying on your surface, it's because you didn't wait. So you need to wait so that it's cool to touch. So almost done. Let's do the final steps. So you can see that with the files and with the different patterns of flower, you can make multiple different bunnies for your table for Easter. Now, as I told you in the beginning of the video, if you are confused about the blade to use when cutting materials, please go to the link below this video. You'll have access to my free cheat sheet that will tell you everything you need to know about all the wheels, blade, tips of the Maker, the Explorer, and everything you can cut with them. So I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial, and if you like working with felt, I will link to another video that is also about spring right here. See you later. Bye bye.